Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is a first video regarding Contract Act. And before further proceed, we should know about the basic terminologies and basic concepts of the Contract Act, like proposal, promise, agreement. What does it mean according to the Contract Act? So first is proposal, and that is under section 2 and subsection A. There is a very simple definition, that is when one person signifies to another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent of that other to such act or abstinence, he is said to make a proposal. This is a very basic definition regarding the proposal according to section 2 subsection A of the Contract Act. So let me understand you. There are actually two sentences in this definition. In the first sentence, it has been indicated that there should be a proper indication by someone to the other person in order to having a will having a you are willing to perform any act or you're not willing to perform any act. Okay, let's suppose here is Mr. A and Mr. B. Mr. A has a land and he's interested to transform this land into the farmhouse, and it is in your knowledge and you're interested to work out for this, and you propose him that you're interested to build a farmhouse against a certain sum of money, let's suppose rupees 2 million. So this is a here your willingness has been indicated, that you have signified your willingness that yes, I'm willing to do, and you propose that person that you want to act upon that activity. So in the next sentence, it has been written that with a view to obtaining the assent of that other to such act or abstinence. Now you are willing to do, and you when you communicate this proposal to the other person, the next intention of yourself um, is to get assent of that person, assent that you want affirmation from that person. If he, the other person approve you, then you will get such contract, your proposal will be approved. So in the first definition, according to section 2A, there is a proper willingness of one person to do or abstain from doing anything in order to get the in order to get obtain the assent of that other person to whom you propose. This is actually the basic definition of the proposal. Now, in the second definition, this is a promise. And according to section 2B, when the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent to it, the proposal is said to be accepted. A proposal, when accepted, become a promise. So like our first example, Mr. A has a land. He wanted to transform that land into the farmhouse, and it is also in knowledge of Mr. B, and Mr. B proposed Mr. A that let me build farmhouse at your land against 2 million rupees. If Mr. A feel that yes, it is a very good deal, and he signifies his assent to Mr. B. Now what happened actually here? Mr. A proposed Mr. B proposed Mr. A, and Mr. A has approved the proposal and accept the proposal. Now this proposal become a promise according to section 2B. All right. Third definition is agreement according to section 2 subsection E. Every promise and every set of promise forming the consideration for each other is an agreement. Now here consideration is has been highlighted and underlined because consideration in the language or law is something different than the ordinary dictionary. If you find out the meaning of consideration in Oxford Dictionary, you will get a different meaning. But if you know the meaning of consideration under the language of law, it is something different. Once again, in our first example, Mr. A and Mr. B, there is a promise again between them. like Mr. B will gonna build the farmhouse for Mr. A, and Mr. A will pay this 2 million sum of money to Mr. B. Now, what is the consideration? Consideration here is the objective, the object between the two parties in the contract. Mr. B is going to build a farmhouse for Mr. A. So farmhouse is the consideration for Mr. A. What is he wanted in the contract, and what Mr. B is willing to get back from Mr. A is rupees 2 million. So it is a consideration for Mr. B. So there should be a two consideration uh, for each other. So the promise converted into an agreement according to the section subsection, according to the agreements, according to the section 2 and subsection E. Now, what is contract according to section 2 and subsection H? Any agreement enforceable by law is a contract. All right. In the very first, uh, in very first slide, we learn about the proposal. Then, when proposal accepted, become a promise, and when promise having a consideration for each party, then it will be converted as an agreement. Now that agreement, when enforceable by law, can be called as a contract. Why? Let's suppose if you have a contract with your friend that you propose your friend to deliver some weight of cocaine, and in return you will pay him rupees 1 lakh. Now, cocaine counted as a drug, which is illegal, at least in Pakistan. So here it is unlawful. Okay, if he will deliver you cocaine and you will not pay him sum of money, he will not sue you. He cannot sue you in any court because it is not enforceable by law. Only those contracts which are enforceable by law, sorry, only those agreements which are enforceable by law can be can have a right. If someone breach, then the innocent party will sue the guilty party um, in the court, but not in case of those contracts where which are not enforceable by the law. So simultaneously, after agreement, when we talk about a contract, an agreement enforceable by law is a contract. So all contracts are agreement, but all agreements are not contract. Okay, because um, all contracts are enforceable by law and they are by nature agreement, but all agreements are not enforceable by law. ठीक है? So in the last line, the person making the proposal is called the promiser, and the person accepting the proposal is called the promisee. Simple, like Mr. B proposed Mr. A, so he's a promiser, and Mr. A accepted his offer or proposal, so Mr. A is a promisee. So this is a very short video for the Contract Act. Thank you so much. We will learn about some new topics about the Contract Act in our next videos. Thank you.